What are we doing today?
What are we doing, Eugene? That's right. Welcome to the Mix It Up podcast. I'm Mike. That's Nick. Our special guest, Eugene, is back from the hiatus. He had the fucking Hershey squirts last week. No need to apologize
What's
for
up,
missing out
everybody?
on the
Shitting
pod.
my
What
pants,
up?
literally. Did you hear that?
What is good?
How are we doing today? I'm glad to be back as a special guest, as always. But Ed did a good job last week. I checked it
He
out.
did.
He looked good. Yeah.
Ed
I'm so happy.
did a good job.
Yeah, he did good. He was nervous. He was going to fuck up, but he did good. He did solid.
I was
Eugene,
wondering.
go on.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I was wondering if you were going to have me back on. I was like, I think Ed just took my job.
Ed don't got time for this.
Yeah. That's the first time. That's the first and last time he'll ever be on it. And that's probably the first. I don't even think he listened to the episode. So I'm not even going to say that's the first time and last time he's going to listen to the episode, because he's probably never going to listen ever again. Because my brother hates everything I do. Thanks, Ed.
Piece of shit.
That's what big brothers are for, right?
Big brothers suck. That's the title of this pod. But before I go to you, Nick, real quick, a good friend of ours, going through some tough times. I won't give him the name. I'll protect his privacy, but he just had a newborn son, had some complications or whatever. But kid's doing good. Like we all thought he would, because he's Irish. He got the Irish blood pumping. So there's there's nothing that can affect this kid, man, in life. So I'm sure it'll be 100%.
Give me a hell yeah.
Yep, we're with you, pal. We love you. And thanks for listening to the pod. Thanks for always being a supporter. He's a number one. He's a supporter right there of everything.
He texts us back.
He's great. He's the best. Best Irish guy I know.
Shut the fuck up. God damn it.
Shit. All right. So our topics are measuring achievement in life, signals that our bodies show us, cleansing, Dave Chappelle, we're bringing him back up, and boxing. Boxing might be a little bit old right now, but we're going to talk about it.
Like a month old.
So once again, as always, our special guest, who will soon be will not be a guest anymore. Eventually he will commit and say that he's on the show, or maybe it's just better. It's just more fun to say our special guest every week, even if he does go down the payroll and start getting paid a salary like we do every week. Eugene, what's your first topic?
What do you say we get boxing out of the way, since it's already old? And what do you think, Nick?
Let's knock it right out of the box. Go for it.
Ding ding ding.
Sounds good. So I didn't get to watch the fight. I haven't really watched boxing for years now, but I watched the highlights on YouTube of this Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury fight. And I'm watching this fight, and I was like, this is like an amazing fight. This is unbelievable. I got to watch this whole thing. And Nick, you watched the fight, right?
I watched the fight. It was amazing.
Trainer, you watch it?
It was one of the best fights I'd never seen. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it yet. It'll come out on like HBO in a year from now, and it'll be free, and I won't have to pay that $85, whatever the hell it was.
Yeah, well, I didn't pay either.
I've watched a lot of boxing matches in my life. Okay, I haven't watched it. It's been years now, but in the past, I've watched boxing. I've seen some really great fights, but at the heavyweight bout, at the heavyweight division, like these two guys were going at it like they were middleweights. It seemed like their tempo and everything. And I was watching them, like the rounds kept going, and it was just the highlights. But I was like, these guys, they're not really tiring out. Like one dude is 277 pounds. The other guy's like in the 230s or something like that. Nick, Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
And so I'm saying, like, how are they able to do that? Because I've seen enough heavyweight fights. Usually, like, come 6-7 rounds, into it, they start slowing up. The fight, it kind of gets boring. Now that there's times when they that they get their spurts of energy. But for the most part, like, it seems to me, like, just from the highlights, that this fight was just nonstop. It was nonstop. And I'm a conspiracy theorist through and through. Like I'm asking myself, how did these guys do this?
I think it was.
So
I think it all came down to fucking heart, man. Honestly, I think that's the only thing that it came down to, because I watched the whole fight, and just a precursor, just to go back to your like how fast they are, and these guys. I watched a one of the undercards, heavyweights, and these guys were moving like sludge in the fucking mud, man. They were strong though. This one guy looked like a Viking. If he hits you, he's gonna fucking demolish you. But they were slow. Like Tyson Fury or even Devontae Wilder, they would light these guys up. You know, it's just they're in a different class. These guys, they're elite. But the fight was absolutely amazing. I've never seen a heavyweight fight like that. I've seen middle. I think Ward and you remember Ward and Gotti, those fights? These fights were in the 90s. These guys, you have to look these fights up. Yeah. Warriors. They made a movie about Ward. I can't remember what it was called. It might have been The Warrior or something like that.
I think it was on HBO.
Yeah. It was, so those guys were insane. They had 3 fights, just like Wilder and Fury had. But one fight, Gatti had a broken hand, and he's still fighting, man. These guys are lighting each other up, going down, knocking each other out. Animals. But it was the same thing with this fight. They were both going down. It could have been anybody's fight until later on. Devontae Wilder was like a feather, man. He was on his tippy toes. I could not understand how this guy was still standing. Tyson Fury's knocking him out. Either he's saved by the bell or just able to punch himself out or hug himself out of it. Was getting lit up. Then in the 11th round, he didn't have anything left in him. You knew that the next shot's going to knock him over, and he took him out, and he won the fight. But I've never seen 2 heavyweights with so much heart in my life. And the thing is, though, I saw the after fight and stuff, and Devontae Wilder seems to be a little bit of a dick, because the other fights, he was blaming Tyson Fury's like corner for fucking with his gloves and doing voodoo on him. He actually said like they did voodoo on him, and he is like,
you're serious?
I'm dead serious. That was like one of his 11 reasons why he lost this fight.
That's where I was going with this.
Yeah.
Nick. But I never heard that, but that's where this was headed, because
really
that dude, okay, it didn't happen in this fight, but I started watching the past fights that they had. This is like the 3rd time they fought.
Yeah.
I think it was in the 2nd fight.
Spinal.
From what I understand, Deontay Wilder, he's the hardest hitter in boxing. Like, yeah, I saw him. It looked like he didn't even touch some of his other opponents, and they went down. And I don't think they were fixed. I think this guy's got pipes for arms and like, I don't know, a weight on his hand or something. When he hits, forget it. Dude is strong as all hell. Like one of the hardest hitters in all boxing ever, what they're saying.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he hit Tyson Fury with a left and a right. Perfect. I mean, I was watching it. I watched it, the slow-mo. I watched it, I don't know, 10 times. Tyson Fury completely passes out. Head hits the ground, right? Hits the mat. And somehow or another, 6, his eyes he just wakes up out of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's possible. It happens. I've never really seen that, but it happens. Okay. But there's no way that you get up from that and aren't wobbly and aren't, just trying to get you just got knocked out.
Right.
You got knocked out completely. You got hit so hard that anybody else, okay, yeah, you're Tyson Fury, you're a professional boxer, but you just got knocked out like a ridiculous knockout, and you get up and you could start running around and pretending like everything's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're not pretending and you really are okay. Like you have like the strongest brain in the world, like the most unshakable brain or something like that, where you don't get knocked out and you don't get dizzy.
You're really sick this week. What was the problem?
I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What, a vertebrae or what portion?
Spinal.
So I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, it's been on my mind. I've been trying to figure it out. Like, what is this guy doing? And I'm just like, wait, like probably doing something, they're calling him supernatural. I'm like, maybe it is supernatural.
They probably got knocked out so many times that they have no idea what the hell they're doing in life. They're like one of those chickens when you cut the chicken's head off and they just run around. Pretty much like you knock this dude's head off and they just fucking get up and start running around again. They start the whole process over again. I would never fight one of these fucking fighters ever. I would never want to fight a boxer. Remember when Nate Robinson got in the ring with Jake Paul, and Jake Paul's a professional boxer. Like Nate got knocked out so hard, I thought he was dead. Like it was that bad, man. So there's no fucking way I would get in the ring with these maniacs. Hell no.
You can win this fight.
Are you talking out of turn?
No, I think we're all talking together.
I normally don't do interviews with women unless I fornicate with them. So you shouldn't talk anymore. Unless you wanna,
There's no way. He got into the ring. I think he was 277. The guy is out of shape. Okay, he's conditioned, but at the same time, he's out of shape. At the end of the 11th round, after he knocks out Deontay Wilder, right? He's fine. He's perfect. The guy's singing a song. He's I'm like, there's nothing. He's not shaken up at all. You just went through hell with the 11 rounds with this guy, and you're all right. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing that you're okay? There's something there. I'm sorry, guys. I know I always go in this direction, but there's something there.
Cocaine. He's doing cocaine after the fight. They're like, that stuff they put in their nose to wake him up. That's fucking cocaine.
Yeah.
He sang his song at the end. Like he sang fucking Piano Man and shit when he fucking got up and shit.
He sang a whole song, the guy.
Like AG.
People were amazed. People were amazed. Yo, Deontay Wilder, he could barely get out of the ring.
Yeah.
He was about to fall over, when he was going down the steps. Okay, Grant, he did just get knocked out, but so did Tyson Fury. He got knocked down, I think, 2 times in that match.
Yeah.
And he was taking shots. They were taking shots.
He was taking shots, but you could tell throughout the whole fight that Fury was not in nowhere near as bad shape as Wilder. But at any time, Wilder still could have knocked him the fuck out. But like towards those later rounds, Wilder was fucked. But
who was the guy that got like hit so hard he grew another head? Remember Eugene back in the day?
Oh yeah.
What was his name? Do you remember? Like he got hit so hard in the side of his head that another head started like forming. Rockman. It looks so bad. I'm yelling at my TV. I'm like, yo, you better go see a doctor. Like, if that happened to me, like, if I just started, like, my head just started swelling up, like no joke. It looked like that head was bigger than his normal head. It was fucking tremendous. I was scared for him. I'm like, dude, go see somebody, man. Get out there. Get out the ring. And fucking Jim Gray is trying to interview his fucking other head. He's trying to ask that other head like questions. He's like, what do you think about that second round and shit? And then fucking other head's like, yeah, I got knocked up, man, pretty bad and shit, It was one of those fucking fights.
Unless it was his split personality that was finally coming out and everybody else could see it. Like, oh no, you're supposed to stay hidden in there. But let me ask you a question. What you say, Eugene? What?
No, I was just gonna close up on that topic. I was just gonna say, either way, it looked like a great fight and something I want to watch from start to finish. And I gotta watch the other 2 as well. But
don't waste your time with the first one. I watched the first one. I never heard of these guys. I watched their Rory Dolans. I thought the fucking fight was fixed, man. It was one of the worst fights ever. And like you said, it was a glancing blow that knocked Wilder down. And I was like, oh wait, no, but that one was actually a draw. And that was a terrible fight, bro. I think it was like Fury's first fight back. And I really think that it was fixed, honestly. But people are like, no, man, no fucking way. I'm like, yeah, it's very easy to fix a fucking fight. But let me ask you this, though. If you never become the champion in boxing, like Wilder, I don't think he was ever the champ. He told his son, like, I will be the champ one day. Who knows? Maybe he will be. But what's the sense of achievement in your work status at that point? Do you still feel like I've achieved, or do you feel like a fucking loser if you have not met the epitome of where you are as a fucking supposed to be or could be as a professional. And this is in all life. Achievement. What is the mathematical equation of achievement?
Are you just talking about like work-wise? Like your achievement
Talking
at
about
work?
life.
Or just life?
I'm talking about fucking life. How do you know that when you die,
Achievement.
you're on your deathbed, if you get a chance to be on your deathbed, that you say to yourself, I achieved, man. I fucking achieved what the fuck I came here for.
I think I'm at that moment of achievement. I was
Yeah.
thinking about this the other day. Yeah, I was thinking about like, I'm like, you know what? I fucking have 2 great podcasts. The Mix Up is doing fucking fantastic. I have a fucking great life, great friends. I'm hilarious. Like I sometimes I just fucking talk to myself and I make myself laugh. I got a nice Jeep and shit I drive around in, cool dog and shit. Like I'm chilling, man. Like I'm invested in Bitcoin. Like it's all good, man. I think life is fucking good, but it's also like how you like approach it. Like, do you think like you achieve something or do you always wanting something more? I feel like if you're always wanting something more, that could kind of get in your head and get you like a little bit like down. Like, oh, I never achieved what I wanted to because I'm always striving for something. I think I'm good. Like I achieved some shit, man. Like I'm fine. I don't know.
Right.
What about you guys?
Yeah.
Do you think that we use money as a sense of achievement more than anything?
I do. 100%. Yo, when I got a pocket full of dough, man, feeling good.
It does feel good. But the thing is, go ahead, Eugene.
No, I was just gonna say, I mean, if you're from New York, yeah, you could definitely, since I left New York, I definitely am better able to see how important, I mean, we always knew how important money is, especially if you're living in New York, but living in Dominican Republic and then looking from the outside in at New Yorkers, I mean, that's the gauge. That's the gauge for New Yorkers, but that doesn't necessarily make anybody happy. But if we're talking about level of achievement, and if that's what you want to achieve in life, then I would say the money is like top dog in New York, right?
I think it's an achievement. I'm walking around in sneakers, Eugene. Like you're walking around in like the mud in the wilderness. Like I think I made it. You know what I mean? If you want to compare the two, but that brings up a good perspective because some people want this in life and some people want this in life. So their achievement for that person is different from your achievement for the other person. So I think achievement actually comes down to like what you believe, inside your own head. Like, why do you have to like say, NBA championship is that epiphany of achievement, but maybe like your achievement is like, hey, listen, I made the playoffs. I got there. Like it was great. Like maybe your views is different from somebody else's. How could you measure that? I mean, if you don't measure it in money, do you measure it in happiness? Do you measure it in something else?
If you're an NBA scrub, you should, and you just like, yo, I shouldn't even be in the NBA. Then you're feeling pretty good that you're just in the NBA.
That would be me. Yeah. Like, hell yeah.
Yeah. If you're, I don't know, who's somebody that never
LeBron James.
Yeah. Well, no, LeBron James. No, I was gonna say like Dan Marino, for instance, never got a Super Bowl, but they say that he's one of the. He could be the best quarterback that ever lived. Some people say, right? He's obviously top 5, top 3, whatever you want to say.
Most likely he's the best.
But does he say he's probably over it now? But there had to be a point in his life that he said, "Fuck, man, I never hit that. I don't know what it feels like to win."
I probably,
but then, win.
Yeah. Like it would mess me up if I'm like that kind of a professional athlete with that kind of drive. But then again, he was in the movie Ace Ventura and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the epiphany of achievement right there. He fucking got to work. Yeah. He got to work with a guy that talks with his ass cheeks all fucking day. Yeah. Can you imagine working with Jim Carrey? Oh my God. Let me ask you a few questions. It's fucking great.
Do you know him? Does he call you at home? Do you have a dorsal fin? To train the dolphin, you must think like the dolphin. You must be getting inside the dolphin's head and communicating. I'm saying to Snowflake, and he is saying, and he is up on the tail. And you can quote him.
Now, in that movie, did they act like Dan Marino did win a Super Bowl?
No, no,
Oh, so whose ring was that the diamond fell out of?
because it was
It was the
Ray Fink.
kickers.
Yeah, because Ray Finkel
Oh,
missed the
yeah,
kick
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit. Like, you fucking blew it, Ray Finkel. And then he came out. They met his parents. The mom came out with like, oh, what do you know? They're little footballs and shit. Like, that's a fucking one of the greatest movies. Like, if you watch Ace Ventura from the beginning to the end, like, dude, you just laugh your ass off. To this day, I laugh my ass off on that movie. That's how good it
When's
was.
the last time you seen it? When's the last time you seen it?
Probably like a month and a half ago. It was on like TBS or some shit. And I'm like, of
Really?
course I stopped. Yeah, it's fucking great. From the opening scene when he had the package and shit, he's just walking around, he kicking the shit out of the package, just great movie, man. If you haven't seen it, fucking fantastic.
I watched it a couple years ago with my boy Tommy Guns, and he never saw it before. It was Rob's cousin.
Wow.
So I watched it with him, and it was like a really shitty copy for some reason that we got from the internet somewhere. So I think that might have had a lot to do with it. But he didn't think it was funny at all. And
That's
being
great.
that I was there hoping, when you watch something with someone and you're like, I hope they really like it.
Yeah.
I hated it. I couldn't watch it. It was like, this is the worst movie ever because none of the jokes were working. And I think it was I really think it was the copy. It was just terrible. It was fuzzy and shit. And it just, the volumes were off. It sucked. I never want to see that movie again.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got to blame Tommy for not laughing. Yo, fucking loser. Loser. Yo, that's crazy.
But it is safe to say that in our modern day, money is the biggest sign or status of achievement, right?
Probably.
So it does make us happy. You get money, you feel a burden off of you, obviously.
Yeah.
You can do things, you don't have to worry about certain things. But
Freedom.
at what cost is it worth it? Is it worth it to make an extra $40,000 a year, working extra hours, sitting down all day, putting stress on your body, no exercise? You know what I mean? And just not really fulfilled or happy with the job that you do you know what I mean? As opposed to, I don't know, making $45,000, $50,000 a year, getting out at a decent time, somewhat liking your job. What's better? What's fucking better?
Nothing.
I'm going with B, Nick. But, I mean, that's just me.
What?
I'm going with B. At
Yeah.
A and B, I'm going with B. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not striving to be a millionaire.
I mean, I'm striving to be a million. I'm striving to be a millionaire,
Right.
but not in a way that I'm going to be sitting down doing something that I'm not enjoying, like for 10 hours when I should be outside. I don't like golf, but golfing for 10 hours, working on music for 10 hours.
You want to have that freedom to fucking do what you want, fucking play music, record music, do whatever the hell you want. That's what it's all about. So it all comes down to pretty much you're slave to money and then you die. Like, what kind of life is that? If you had the money to do shit, like, sure, would you get certain days to be bored? But like, listen, I'd find things to do between 9 and 5, you know what I mean, during the day.
Right.
So that's all it is. So my sense of achievement is just like, I don't know, being happy and shit. Like, that's what I would say. That's how I would measure it.
You could be happy in prison. You could be happy in the desert, you're about to die of exhaustion and heat stroke and being dehydrated. You could be happy anywhere. It is that's all it really comes down to. You're like, oh, I have $1 million worth of debt. But by golly, the sun looks beautiful today. I'll go for a walk and eat some grapes growing on that guy's vine.
You said that you'd be happy in prison. Like, yeah, sure, Nasty Nate coming fucking for you. Like, you know what I mean? Hell no. I'd be terrified.
All these dicks. Unlimited dicks.
Dropping the soap and shit, man, be petrified.
Oh shit! No, I wouldn't be happy in prison. I said some people could.
Some
be happy
people,
in prison.
yeah. I know what those kind of people will be.
I'd be petrified. I would turn into a block of petrified wood the first day. They'd think I was just an inanimate object. They'd throw me out in the garbage.
That's why I don't do bad things in life. I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking end up there.
Yeah.
You know how many fucking trolls I would fucking love to run over in my car? Imagine you get away with doing that. Like, I'd be at least once a week. But
Are we gonna after
thrown
our
in
commercial
jail.
break? Are we gonna add the troll video?
I put it under my notes, right? Achievement. Bang.
You're gonna add it? You're gonna add it to
Add
the
it
to
right
this
now.
YouTube?
You want to?
So we're going on break?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, we're going on break. We'll see you in a little bit.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break. Stay tuned for the troll.
Meet Nick. He's your typical guy. Works a 9-to-5 job, just trying to get by. But when nighttime comes, things get a little bit different.
Let's go! Let's get this fucking job! Who's fucking with me? Let's fucking go!
All right, we are back with the Mix It Up podcast. Hopefully you like that troll video. That's coming soon, by the way. Troll Hunters with me, Nick, and Eugene. So what's the next topic we're gonna get into on the Mix It Up?
I say we go with Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
All right. So I watched his and listened to his new comedy show. And in my opinion, it was not very good. It wasn't very funny. Some of the jokes made me laugh, like some of them. But the whole thing was basically his life. He was talking about certain things. And I didn't mind it when it got to the end because he was telling that story about his transgender friend. And I knew what was going to happen. I knew the end of the story, but I got more of the details in it. Basically, he befriended her. She bombed opening act for him. And then she went and sat down anyway. And he said, man, usually when people bomb for 45 minutes, they fucking leave, right? She sat down and decided she was laughing at all my jokes, giving it back to me, talking to me. And at one point or another, it was just like me and her talking. And then she stood up for something and some guy in the back said something to her. Hey, honey, do the drapes match the carpet? Because she's got blonde hair. And she goes, and then Dave Chappelle said she barely even turned around and went, I wouldn't know. I have hardwood floors. Right. So the whole place was in an uproar. And they just, she kept going back and forth with Dave. And by the end of the show, he said, all right, this is it. I'm done with the show. And I want you guys to all give a round of applause for Daphne. So everybody got up and was cheering for her. And she was like tearing. And she was like, I can't believe I would have never thought this would happen to me. So they're partying backstage. And Dave's like, listen, you bombed. You were terrible. But, oh, no, I'm sorry. She started being funny to everybody backstage. Everybody was cracking up. And he's like, you really are fucking funny. And he said, next time I come to, I don't know if it was San Diego or something. Anytime I come here, you're going to open for me and I'll help you. I'll give you pointers and shit like that. So she was like, really? So whatever. I don't know if they ever did another show together, but what happened when we discussed last week was Dave Chappelle said something and then the LGBTQ, whatever it is, came after him and she backed him up on Twitter. And then they attacked her and she ended up killing herself a week later. And Dave Chappelle in this episode goes like, I don't know, obviously I was pissed. I was pissed at her. I was pissed at them. And he was like, I don't know if it was Twitter that made her do it. I don't know what she had going on. But at the end of it, he goes, I'm going to ask you one thing. You're never going to hear another joke from me again about this until I know that we're all laughing together about it. And he said, but do me a favor. And I asked this with all my heart. Stop punching down on my people. Because that's what they say. Stop punching down on my people. And right. It's okay for them to do it to somebody and back them into a fucking corner and hurt them that fucking bad that she had to kill herself. It's a two-way fucking street, man. If you really cared about somebody, you would act totally different. You wouldn't be fucking attacking people, There's ways to go about it and there's ways not to go about it. Obviously these people are out just for a fucking agenda, most of them, and they want to attack you. And look what happens. They're hurting fucking people's feelings, and that goes with fucking anything. When you think that you have something to stand up for it in the right way. If you believe something, fucking believe it. But don't fucking bring anybody else down. It's not fucking right. You know, go for it. Your cause is fine. Go for it. I'm for anybody's opinions and thoughts. I don't give a fuck about anything, but don't fucking hurt other people, you know, in the process.
That's when people think they're so righteous about it that they punch down on other people because they don't agree with their opinion. A lot of, you know, but like you're saying, like, I hear you, man. If people just learn to like talk to each other, not be fucking assholes and pricks, then you'd be able to have like normal conversations. You wouldn't be like, you wouldn't think somebody's like lower than you. You'd be like, oh, they're equal with me. They're on the same page. And if people don't view other person as the same page, you're going to continue to have these kind of things, you know, for that community. And I mean, even now, like on Twitter, they're going after Chappelle, the people that work at Netflix, like the transgender people, they're going after Dave. Like they're saying, we're going to protest this. We don't want to go back to work until they take this special down. Like, so you're just doing what you know, what you're getting done to you. You're beating themselves down with that shit. And it's not right, man. I think like, I don't know. To be honest, like this might get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. Like I've never seen a transgender person that's been like all mentally there. I feel like they have something mentally wrong in their head. That's just like my opinion. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but it just seems like you're not happy. Something's messed up. Like you got something, you know, wrong with you. Like I've never met like, or never seen a training on TV that's like all happy with their life. Like,
that's
you know
a
what I mean?
hippie
You see like what I'm getting at?
I'm gonna try to save you right now.
I hope
you
so.
Don't go to Twitter prison.
I know. Go ahead.
maybe what quote unquote is wrong or isn't right is the fact that they are trapped inside a body which they don't fucking believe is correct for them. You know, I mean, if that's really how they feel, and I believe that is how they feel. Honestly, like I don't think that anybody decides I want to be a fucking woman just for fucking fun, or I want to be a man for fucking fun. Yeah. You know, obviously there's something going on upstairs. But
I would never beat them down for it, Nick. Like I would never do that.
No,
like this is just like what I think is wrong. Like in an aspect, I would never be the asshole.
And you know what's crazy? You can't say that without being attacked. But like, you could easily tell me, like, Nick, I think that there's something wrong with you mentally for not wanting to, you know, work a fucking 9-to-5 job for your whole life and fucking, you know, buy a white picket family at fucking house and have 13 kids. But I wouldn't take offense to you calling me mentally unstable.
Right.
Because I know I am. Like, if you can't admit that you're like, I don't really know anybody that's not a little bit mentally fucking unstable. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm insane. Like, you call me it. I don't give a fuck. What? Just because like, I don't want to change my fucking gender. What if I fucking, maybe you think this is crazy that I want to fucking spend my time fucking playing piano. You know, you could call me insane. You could think I have a screw loose for that. That don't fucking bother me. And this is one of the most important things in my life. It's the same fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, why is it so sensitive about like sex and your religion and your fucking race? Why is that so fucking sensitive? You know, like, get the fuck over it, guys. Everybody's not going to like you, not just because of your color or your fucking race or your fucking sexuality. Maybe you're just a fucking asshole. Is that not allowed? Am I not allowed to like you because you know what I mean? Will I get canceled because you're an asshole and I don't fucking like you? Am I going to have to be forced? Does everybody have to be forced to do everything that everybody else wants to do? But it doesn't matter what I want to fucking do. I want $1 million. Should I cry about it and fucking force everybody to give me $1 million until I get my fucking way? No. You know? And somebody put something up the other day about like the sexuality shit, like about like kids and shit like that. And they said, stop talking about sexuality. Let kids be kids. Why would you ever bring up sexuality with your fucking child? Ever, until your fucking child brings it up. Let the kid fucking grow up.
Bingo.
Like, fuck, man. You know what? It's disturbing in my way. And this is fucked up to say, but the world that we're living in with all of this fucking sex trafficking and fucking pedophilia that's fucking out there that people apparently are hiding. Is this their way of fucking slowly opening up fucking gateways into fucking lowering the fucking age of fucking statutory rape down to 16 and 15. Oh, they're mature enough. They're mature enough to make their own fucking decision at fucking 12 and 11 and 10 and 9. Is that where we're fucking going? Because what happens when these motherfuckers start saying, no, my kid has a fucking choice at fucking 8 years old to go fuck somebody. What are we supposed to do then? You can't do anything because then you're looked at as a fucking bigot or a fucking sexist or this fucking that and the other thing.
You can't
That's where
win.
it's gonna fucking go.
You can't win.
It's fucked up, man. And that's gonna be a fucking shame. That's how it goes, man. Slowly but surely, that's how fucking things change. It doesn't fucking happen overnight because then people will react. You don't react to slow changes. You know what I mean?
Yep. 100%. I get that. Eugene, you have any thoughts on that?
I mean, there was a lot just said.
No, after this commercial break, we'll be back.
Eugene's going to absorb all this information we get them. Just to let the podcast, the listeners at home, like, I'm the normal one. I do a podcast with 2 lunatics. Okay. So, all right.
to generalize what I feel is happening in the world right now is just the psychology of people. We're very much out of whack. We're in a state of degeneration due to how we grow up, how we're raised, and I'm generalizing now. I'm not talking about everybody, but we're in need of help. We're in need of love. We're in need of a lot of things. You know, we're being programmed by the powers that be through the internet, through television, through these devices, through cell phones, through whatever it is that you could imagine. I mean, we're dealing with something that is really confusing the hell out of everybody, and that they're not helping the situation. The people who are in charge, people who are the school systems, the educational systems are just, they're doing a terrible job. They're doing a terrible job, and people's minds are worse than ever. And so people are really confused. Not just, you know, everybody's dealing with major problems. There's way too much suffering in this world right now for no good reason. No good reason. Like you said, people are way too sensitive right now. People are way too sensitive. People are running out and doing things without thinking about what it is that they're doing. You know, even when they're being told the truth, they're still not getting it. You know, that there's something missing. Something is misfiring in the brain, in the mind. You know, the food that we eat is garbage. The things that we watch on TV are garbage for us. You know, the TV itself is you know, a programming mechanism. It's been around for a while now, but they just keep going bigger and better and more colors and more dense, you know, higher definition. Why do you, here in this country, this country it's not okay. It's a poor country. There's, you know, you're talking about, you know, you got your sneakers and I'm walking in the mud. Kids don't have shoes. Kids don't have shoes in this country. They walk around barefoot. You know, you know, I'm around it. I'm in the countryside. I see how these kids, they don't have shirts. They don't have shoes. They're poor. They're poor. I forgot where I was going. Oh, the tablets. They got tablets from the government. These kids that they're friends of mine, 8 and 7 or 8 years old. You know, that they're my neighbors. They got Samsung Galaxy tablets, I believe they are. They got to be $300 or $400. They got to be. I mean, I would assume. I'm assuming that these kids, they don't have shoes. They don't have clothes. They don't eat. You know, they don't eat 3 meals a day. But the government's giving them tablets. Yeah. What's the deal? What's happening with the electronics? I was looking at the tablet. Okay, there's educational stuff in it. But there's also Google on it. There's also, God only knows what else is on there.
Right.
So I mean, there's stuff going on that we don't know about. But I try to keep, and you know, as I try to zoom out on everything, so I don't get too caught up in like the stuff that you guys are talking about, because I know what's happening. I know it is. I know all about it. but I just because I know about it doesn't mean I'm gonna get identified with it, because it's not worth it. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't care. We should, but there's only so much that we can do, unless we're gonna go and take action, to actually go and do something about it. But to just talk about it and argue about it all the time, that doesn't really help.
I hear you, and I don't get caught up in it either. But when I hear a story like that, like the lady kills herself because of like bullying and shit like that,
Right.
and these motherfuckers are all just there to walk away scot-free, that's not fucking right, man.
Right.
Like I hope,
Yeah.
I really hope that they know that they contributed to that and that they change their fucking ways. I hope that they understand that, instead of like sitting there good. Oh, fuck her good. I know some people have said, will say that too. And that's fucked up, man. You are the lowest form of fucking scum, if you could say that. And there are
But
people
Nick,
out that will do that.
I agree. But just imagine inside the minds of those people, how angry they are, how much anger they carry inside them, that they want, that they go and they do that to that woman. And then when she does actually go, or whatever she is, then then they actually go and she does go and do that, and they're happy about it.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy how terrible of an emotional, situation that we're in collectively as a society.
Right.
I don't want to be a part of that society. That's why I'm in the jungle.
It's the jungle, nigga.
It's selfishness too, man. Everybody's so worried about their own feelings, and nobody takes a step back to worry about anybody else's feelings. And it's
That's
so
the
easy.
thing.
Yeah.
It's their feelings that they're throwing it up. They're vomiting on other people.
Right.
And those other people they're receptive to it. We don't know how to not be receptive to other people's garbage.
Right.
So I mean this is the problem. This is one of the big problems that we have in society today, is everyone is just too sensitive. Everybody runs their mouth because they think that they have special rights or something, that they're allowed to go and do that to people for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know.
I don't either. Maybe everybody just needs like a full body cleanse and cleansing of the mind and stuff like that, like a naked cleanse of sorts.
That would help. That would help. Maybe they cleanse out their liver, they get rid of some of that anger.
Yeah.
They need to transition.
Food is a good start. Food is a real good start. Believe me, I've felt many differences from fasting, from changing my diet. And I go back and forth. I don't stick to a really pure diet, but definitely worth it if somebody is really dealing with a lot of anger or dealing with a lot of anxiety, depression. Food can help. Food can really help you.
Well, let's take a quick commercial break again with the Mix It Up podcast, and we'll be back to talk different kinds of cleansings. Cleansings? Is that a word?
Cleansing. Yeah, it's cleansings.
Cleanses. Yeah. Apostrophe, yes. So we'll be right back on the Mix It Up podcast.
Grapes.
All right, we are back with the Mix It Up podcast. I'm Mike. That's Nick. That's Eugene. We are talking about cleanses with apostrophe s. Guys, tell me, man. Tell me a cleanse you're interested in, or that you hear about that you want to do. Because I got one.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in, and then Eugene will follow up because he's done them. But I just want to take a quick little sponsor break here. We're sponsored by Play Action Pools. Are we sponsored by them?
Yes, Play Action Pools.
And also we're not actually sponsored by them, but one day we will be when they hear about it. Terry Black's Barbecue, Austin, Texas, established 2014. They're our fake sponsor. So thanks for that, Terry Black's. And so just a little backstory here. Today I woke up and I was just fucking exhausted. And I went ahead and ate my fresh and lean breakfast. Was not satisfied with it. I wanted something fresh and cold. I wanted something cold, right? I could just feel like I was dehydrated. So come lunchtime, my body was screaming at me to be like, go shopping, get some fruit, fucking asshole, right? So I went there, I loaded up on grapes, watermelon, blueberries. I got avocados, lemons, some pecans, all this good stuff. And then I came home and I didn't eat like actual food, like meat and shit like that. I just ate grapes and watermelon and I felt phenomenal. It lifted me up, man. I must have been dehydrated and all that water helped me out, but all the nutrients and stuff too. So I know Eugene brought up the watermelon fast one time, and then he brought up a grape fast today. So I was thinking of maybe doing one next week because I'm off of work. I never did one. I'd like to. So Eugene, what's up, bro? Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, Nick. Absolutely.
Nick ran right into the supermarket. He's like, "Yo, where's the produce aisle? I need it immediately. I'm gonna bomb this place."
Dive right in, Nick. Don't worry about your blood sugar. Don't worry about dying. Don't worry about, the worst thing that probably happened is you lose a little bit of weight. But I don't think you're going to be doing it for, how long do you plan on doing the fast for, Nick?
He said like a week, right?
No, I think the most I would do is right now is for 3 days. But like if it went on to the 4th day and I was feeling great, I would just keep going till I died from it.
Right.
Yeah, Eugene was like, "Oh, don't worry about like the circulation in your body. Don't worry about it. Like you'll be fine.
Don't worry about your blood sugars. That's a myth.
Don't worry about your heart. Oh, you can't feel your feet? Don't sweat it."
For the people out there, if you have diabetes, I mean, obviously you don't want to start a grape fast. You don't want to start it like that. I mean, obviously you want to take some precautions, but for Nick, I don't think that you're suffering from any conditions right now. Just jump right into it, Nick.
All right, I'll jump right into it.
The first fast I ever did was lemon, the lemon cleanse, the lemon. What do you call that? Lemon, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper.
Yeah.
I did that for 10. I did that for 10 days. That was the first fast I ever did. I think I was 29, and I didn't think much of it. I said, okay, day 6 came around and I felt terrible. Something happened. And I didn't know what was going on. I didn't read any books yet. I didn't know about Dr. Morse yet. I didn't really search the internet about it. I just knew that there was something up. But overall, I was like, this is all right. It's not that great. So the lemonade fast was just so. Where am I going with this, Nick? What is it that? Give me some specific questions.
Tell me this: what isn't that you didn't know? What is it that you didn't know during the lemon cleanse that you'd be like, oh, okay, what, this is detoxing me right now? That kind of stuff. Is that what?
Right, like something happened on day 6 or day 7. For most people, that's when the body, maybe it's the liver, maybe it's just the body itself starts dumping things back out into the blood that it was storing to keep you safe from those toxins. Mm-hmm. So those toxins get recirculated, and while they're being processed out of you, you don't feel well. So, and they call that a healing crisis. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't just have to be that. Healing crisis could be just about anything. I mean, any kind of ailments that you're dealing with while you're alkaline and on a fast, so any kind of fast, you should, if you're lucky, have a healing crisis. Mm-hmm. Or they also call it a Herxheimer effect. And that's what we're looking for when we fast. We want to get rid of whatever it is the body's been holding on to. And when you first start fasting, it's easier for your body to let go of like some of the junk that you've been holding on to. And then as you continue and as your body gets cleaner, at least in my experience, it gets a little bit harder to get your body to have a healing crisis. So you kind of go deeper into the fast. So for example, I was doing grapes or I was doing watermelon, and watermelon, I was getting too hungry by day 5, day 6, day 7. And I really wasn't getting that detox that I wanted. So I went to grapes, and in 3 days, the grapes were pulling on the astringent qualities of the grapes were pulling on my insides. Like things were happening where I was like, damn, my heart feels like something is pulling at my heart, and it's not actually pulling on your heart, but the lymphatic system, the sewage system of your body is those grapes, the astringent qualities, they go and they pull on it, and you get mucus to come out of you. Either you cough it up or you excrete it. And that mucus is stuff that we want to get out of our bodies. That's the stuff that's going to be that's going to, once that mucus is, that obstruction leaves that area of your body, your blood can go and nourish that area of your body that hasn't really had that, that nutrition or those cells, they didn't have what they needed, and now they can receive it. So I've had a few healing crises before. One time, you want to hear about the healing crises?
Yeah.
All right. Besides the mucoid plaque, I've gotten mucoid plaque out of me before. I've coughed up some crazy amounts of mucus. I've got green stuff coming out of my ears one time. I had an extreme healing crisis, and
You're like a
seriously,
troll.
I had like green ooze ooze out of my ears.
That's
and the
right.
green. So the detox. So depending on the color, that will tell you how toxic you were, or how deeply embedded that toxin was. So people sometimes they throw up black from their detox.
That's scary.
And that tells you just how toxic they really were. I've never, thank God, but green is up there. Like after green comes brown, after brown, black.
That's
So
like
I was
karate.
highly
That's actually
toxic.
that's exactly how the karate belts go.
Right. Level up.
Exactly. So I
You're
just
just
want
going
to
with the
say,
black belt.
I'll say one more thing. I'll say just that before I started my detox, I was highly inflamed. I wasn't necessarily overweight. I was a little bit, on the heavy side, but just the inflammation was very noticeable. But I wasn't conscious of that. But as soon as I got into the raw foods, I lost all that inflammation within like a couple of months, and I was like, I looked like a different person. Besides losing the weight, all the inflammation in my face, everything, it went. And after that, I was like, let me just keep going with this. And then so the longest I went on raw foods was 8.5 months, which I don't truly recommend. Even though there's people that do it and they don't have any issues. There was points where I felt like I was getting extreme, and I was praying for this, this Herxheimer effect, this healing crisis to happen, and it never happened. And then I was saying, oh, well, I'm weak because I'm detoxing and my body's taking the energy to go and clean me out. And I don't think now, looking back, was the case. But I have my beliefs just like everybody else has their beliefs, and we live and we learn. So I'm a big proponent of detoxing and of fasting, but also I'm a big proponent of, once that fast is over, you go back to eating more of a normal, what I would call, or what I would consider a normal diet, a more standard diet.
Right.
Huge. You got so skinny at one point that it looked like you were a walking skeleton. I'm like, yo, this dude loves Halloween. He's just walking around like a skeleton, fucking 365 days a year, fucking going trick or treating. But your trick or treating ended up in like not eating anything.
Right.
Throw grapes in that bag.
I did a 13-day water fast, and that was the skinniest I ever got. I wasn't scared, but I was checking my weight on a daily basis. I was losing, a pound to 2 pounds a day. I went down to like almost, I think it was like 104 pounds.
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 5'7", 5'8", 5'7", and at 104, I was like, I think I got to stop. Not that I felt bad. I just said I'm just losing too much weight.
You should have went to see if you can get down to like 4 pounds or like 3 pounds.
Like I say, guys, I took it.
I'm at
I
4
took it
pounds. I'm at a decent weight.
I took it.
I'm gonna enter a beauty contest now.
Yeah.
I'm at my fighting weight to officially fight trolls.
I sweated it all out. I'm ready.
Eugene, let me ask you this question. Did you do
Yeah.
any research on how long Ecto Cooler fucking sits in your brain, and then was that leaking out of those ears during that detox?
Ecto Cooler.
That's nuts, man. That had to be
There's-
scary as fuck, though. That had to be.
There's high. There's no. I really wasn't scared. I was just
I'd
just
be
like, all right, it's
terrified.
just too much. But Ecto Cooler has high fructose corn syrup in it, which also is known to have mercury in it. I'm pretty sure. And so mercury is,
Fuck.
it's difficult.
I
It's
used to-
really difficult.
Eugene,
out.
I used to drink that by the gallon. Remember, you had to open up the can. You had to put the 2 holes in it on each side. Yeah, I used
So
to
good.
chug that thing, man.
I had the little sippy drinks. I mean, every single
Yeah.
day at school.
The
At school,
sippy boxes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the sippy boxes. I was pounding those down, and then after school, during school, whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Ecto Cooler was maybe that's the green stuff that was coming out of my head, like you said.
I used to pound those little juicy box like I was taking shots at a bar. I was like, yo,
Right.
my mom
more.
bought me like a 6-pack. I'm like, yo, give me more. Give me more.
Give this guy one. Give that guy one.
yeah. I'm gonna buy this whole place a fucking little sippy drink.
Trainer,
Everybody
you know,
gets a sippy drink.
lucky for us, we had the Delancey Act, which was it was something that stopped them from spraying too many pesticides on the crops. And then I believe it was 1986, they got rid of it. They got rid of the Delancey Act. So they were able to start spraying their crops as much as they wanted. I'm speaking about the United States now, obviously.
Yeah.
Shit.
Just the United States. And ever since then, you know, they just keep double downing on these pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, all these different things, man. And we don't think anything about it, but if you knew, probably you wouldn't be wanting to eat most of the stuff that we're eating right now. And for those people that say, just, you know, this is the last thing I'm going to say, unless you have any other questions. For those people that think that the body detoxes itself and you don't need to worry about it, and maybe back in, you know, 200 years ago, when their genetics were much better, you know, and the land was clean and people weren't eating all the shit that they're eating now. But for real, like now, there's nobody on this planet that doesn't need to detox. Nobody. I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee it. And for those of you that think that I'm making things up, just study iridology. Study it, because you can learn a lot just from looking in someone's eye. The color of someone's eye will tell you what that person is dealing with in so many ways. So
Really?
people are really, really good. Yeah.
Could you tell?
I get it, you know, with everything that I study and everything, I kind of get the essence of everything. I don't go too crazy with you know, the specifics of it. But yeah, I can look in someone's eye, generalize, you know, trainer, you sent me a picture of your
Yeah.
eye. I can
Yep.
I know you have stomach issues. I know you do. I can see it. Your right eye, if you look from the stomach, the white part of the inner part of your eye, next to your iris. If you look, you can see you can see a white line that crosses outwards, right? That white line is your liver. Your liver, you more than likely you have a fatty liver. So you need to do a liver cleanse, Mike.
All right.
important.
So a liver cleanse, what entails that? What do I need to do? Do I go eat grapes? Like, what do I do?
Grapes will be ideal.
For how
you know.
long? These are green grapes or the red grapes?
You choose, but the
Okay.
darker the grape is usually it's more astringent and stronger to better. But you could eat green grapes if that's what you want.
For how
And
long
also
though?
A million years.
you know until you cleanse. You know, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it'll take some time. Like,
What about grape juice, Eugene? Can I switch it up and have grape juice, like the 100% grape juice?
Grape juice. You're gonna want to juice the grapes, because you don't want anything that's been pasteurized, that's been
Okay.
cooked, because you're gonna lose a lot of the enzymes. You're gonna lose a lot of the potency of it, in my opinion.
Okay.
But there are some people who do grape juice. There are people that do that.
So
And they say that it works.
if I'm eating all the grapes, and I'll do the grapes like what, like as long as I want throughout the day, eat as many grapes I want, but I could drink water too, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I
All right,
mean,
so I got-
you could also do rosemary. Rosemary is awesome for the liver to help you. You know, rosemary tea. Milk thistle is a supplement that's awesome for the liver.
I've seen that.
It's the #1 supplement for the liver, man. So those three things, I mean, you do that, you hit it hard. You know, don't cheat. And after a couple of days, you're gonna start feeling a difference because your body will be alkaline.
I might do it.
And then more than likely, you will have some kind of healing crisis. You know?
Really?
So, yeah.
All right, I'll do
things-
it. I'll do it. Nick, if you want to do the grape thing, we'll go to fucking Stop and Shop like this weekend. We'll do the grape fucking thing together.
Stop and Shop. What?
You'll be my motivation to get grapes.
Number one, we got to go all organic when we're doing it. We
Yeah,
can't
we
be
gotta.
fucking around with that shit. So we
Yeah,
got to
right.
go to Whole Foods.
No,
But
don't even bother. Don't even bother
Why?
because then you're not gonna find what it is that you want, and it's gonna cost. You're gonna look at the price. You're gonna be like, oh, that's just too much, and I'm not spending this anymore. Just stick with the grapes. I promise you, they'll be miles better than whatever it is whatever else you do when you know throughout your day for your diet.
no, but I'm talking about going to Whole Foods, the store,
To buy the
and
grapes.
get because it's all organic shit there.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just telling you, you don't need to bother.
Why? But why? All the pesticides that are on these fucking. Why wouldn't we go
Yeah.
organic if we're cleansing?
Clean them up. All right, go for it. Go for it. do whatever pleases you. I'm just telling you that you don't have to.
All right. Well,
Your
how many
body-
grapes do we have to eat?
Probably.
Whatever you like. Whatever you like.
I want to eat all of them. I want to eat all the grapes. I mean,
Can you
grapes-
overdose on them?
yeah, grapes are very sugary though.
I eat yes. I eat 2 to 3 pounds a day, I would say, when the few times that I've done break fast.
We're gonna have a dope sugar rush on next week's episode.
I know. I feel like I might want to do the watermelon. Nah.
No, do the watermelon.
This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. It's watermelon. Inside a watermelon.
If you have watermelon in the house, stick with the watermelon. Do the watermelon first, then go to grapes. Because grapes are stronger. And watermelon at the same time, it's no picnic.
I know
It's difficult.
my liver. I know my liver needs help. I know it. I can feel it. You know what I'm saying?
If you listen, help!
I'm with it, man. I'm gonna definitely do that. I'll do the cleanse.
What do you got to lose? What do you got to
Nothing.
lose, Mike?
Nothing. Wait. You know what I'm saying?
Nick, what do you got to lose? You worried about having a sugar rush? You worried about what?
What I'm really worried about, is like getting real hungry, and then like maybe even my blood sugar dropping for some reason, and like not knowing what's going on, not knowing if I'm dying or my sugar levels are out of fucking whack or I'm fucking gonna die. But honestly, and starving to death.
Do you have diabetes?
Cha.
Diabetes? No, but I did have an issue where my blood sugar used to get low, but now it's like fine. But I do get a little shaky once in a blue.
But you drink, yeah?
Oh, I drink, Jules.
Alcohol.
Jules.
Alcohol.
I drink. Yeah.
Look at his eyes, Eugene. He texts us a picture of his eyes in our group text. You can
Yeah.
tell if he fucking drinks.
Take a look at my eyes, but don't disclose what you think until the after pod. So everyone will be able to say, oh, got to listen to the after pod and see what Eugene's going to disclose about Nick's eyeballs.
There you go. I'm actually Googling grape cleanse, and one of the first ones came up on Live Strong. It gives you the directions, the benefits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, weight loss. So it's not such bullshit that Eugene made up today. This is a real thing. This is the grape cleanse.
Yeah, I've been living it. I don't need to make this up, man.
Pee Wee Herman. I don't need to watch this anymore, Daddy. I lived it.
I was talking about Pete Herman the other day. Large Marge. Tell him Large Marge sent you, right?
Ugh.
That shit scared the shit out of me when I was a kid.
I was
Oh, I
terrified
was so
of that.
scared. I was so scared of that.
I'm like, here it
Hey,
is.
well-
Here's the film. So he's gonna say it. Tell him Large Marge sent you.
Oh, shit. Mike, you're gonna tell us about your nudie mosh fucking cleanse or what?
Oh,
Getting
yeah, I
naked
mean-
and cleaning yourself.
Well, this is I didn't even know if this is a real thing. So a friend of mine, Amanda, shout out Amanda. She was telling me about a cleanse she's gonna do in the future. I don't know where she heard it from. I think one of her friends or whatever, but she said it's called a naked cleanse. So basically, like if you're home, like in your apartment or house or whatever, you spend 12 hours, right, of just being naked, all clothes off, like you're just doing everything naked. And part of that 12 hours is like, all right, 7 to 8 hours or 6 hours you're sleeping. So at least that knocks down half of it. But everything else, so if you wanted to start, like I think she's gonna start at like 7 o'clock at night because she gets up for work at 7. So she'll do from 7 to 7, she'll be naked. And apparently it helps like get out, like it opens up your pores or whatever, because we walk around so constricted by clothes all the time. Like even a lot of people don't even sleep naked to begin with. They always have like boxers on or a t-shirt on. You know what I mean? So like that's me. Like I have boxers and a t-shirt on every time I go to sleep. That's just I'm comfortable like that. I don't want to, be naked and shit on my fucking bed and, comfort unless I'm doing extracurricular activities and shit. That's fun and enjoyable to especially me. But like, I don't want to like, I don't want to like, I kind of want to try it, but I don't know if it really is going to do anything. But in a way, then I'm thinking like, you know what? Like I'm never like naked for like an extended period of time, like only in the shower or whatever, you know what I mean? Or changing clothes. Like, I wonder what it would feel like to be naked for that long of a time. Like, would I actually feel a difference? Would I feel like something changed, like pore wise? Like, I don't know. Like, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Well, I'm gonna.
You think that's
straight
true
up,
or what?
I sleep naked every single night, and the times that I don't, I wake up way more tired when I have clothes on. Believe it or not, and I don't know if it's like the temperature. It probably is. When you're probably a little hotter, it probably exhausts you a little more or something like that. So when you're probably a little cooler, you're probably a little bit more status quo. I think that's in my mind anyway, but that's just from my experience. I fucking wake up really tired when I have clothes on.
Wow.
So maybe if we walked around, I'd guarantee, and Eugene probably 100% knows this, that when you're linked up with the planet, like if you're not wearing shoes, like the little kids that run in the Dominican Republic probably have all these different types of energies flowing through the world and the earth energy. So they're probably just more naturally happy, even though they don't have fucking shoes and a shirt and stuff like that. But they're in touch and grounded to the planet. But imagine walking around naked in the jungle, and that's just how you lived. You'd be a totally different fucking person, man. You would absorb all the fucking Earth's energies. Your shoes, rubber, is a fucking anti-conductor or whatever it's called, right? You can't get electricity can't go through fucking rubber, really, right? Which means that all the Earth's natural energy can't go through you. We're shutting that off all the time that you put fucking shoes on. So just imagine we were running around butt ass naked all day. Who knows what this jungle tree's throwing at you, that this fucking shirt kicks out. Who knows it? Maybe cotton's a fucking anti fucking Christ, and we wear it all the time. We're not able to fucking absorb any of the goodness that the sun brings into us. I mean, the sun keeps us alive and we keep it out.
Yo, the title of the show is Cotton the Antichrist. That'll get somebody's attention. Yeah, what do you think, Eugene? You think like that naked cleanse? You think that's real?
Good point. I think that maybe you're onto something. Overall, I'm going to say that 3 days of grapes is going to be way more powerful than sleeping naked or walking around naked. And I don't know.
What if you're eating the grapes naked, 24/7
The Dalai
for 3
Lama.
days?
The Dalai Lama. If you eat grapes naked, maybe you get something extra out of it, trainer. I don't know. You give it a shot. Let me know.
Look at that hard on. Holy shit. Fucking grapes.
The Dalai Lama, he talked about sleeping on the ground on the earth.
Yeah.
and that will reset your circadian rhythm. And it's pretty much like you wake up feeling fantastic from what the Dalai Lama says. I have a lot of respect for the Dalai Lama. He's considered a master. So, if you want to give something a shot, try sleeping out on, I don't recommend doing it in the city with all the electromagnetic smog and all that stuff. But if you're in the countryside and you can sleep on the ground, see how that works out for you.
But how do you stop bugs from crawling in your fucking ears when you sleep on the ground? Because I've laid out on my backyard because there's sometimes I'm so stressed out. I'm like, I'm going to lay down in the fucking backyard. And you feel great. You feel it. When you take your shirt off, you could feel it, man. And it's cool. It just fucking calms you down. But you get bugs on you instantaneously. So how do you stop that?
Right.
I picture you running out to your backyard, like face first in the dirt. Like I'm gonna go lie down for a minute. Yeah, but if the bugs hit you, they're a part of you now. Like that's what it is.
True.
Yeah. Something that I've done before that I could say for me is fantastic is burying yourself in the ground. So
how the fuck do you do that?
Ask his victims.
You dig dig a hole. Like I said, once again, if I was you, I would do it in the countryside. Dig a hole, get some clay, buy yourself some pharmaceutical clay or whatever, go to a health food store, get some clay, cover your entire body in clay so that the bugs don't bite you. And then cover yourself in, and have somebody obviously cover you up except for your head and just chill out for like an hour. And
okay. So don't sleep there for like all night.
An hour.
Okay.
An hour. Spend an hour underground and tell me you don't feel different. Tell me you don't feel more connected. Tell me that it's one of probably the best ways to wake up, to nature.
You were naked?
Yeah, everything. I left my underwear on, but everything else.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Gotta be a little tough cleaning out the wiener hole.
Dick's going right in the ground. If my dick's going, my dick's definitely going 6 feet under.
I'll put a sock on that. I'll be putting a sock on that shit.
My shit will reach that far. I'm telling
Like,
you.
listen, when you bury yourself, you got to make sure you at least wear a sock. Yeah, but which foot? Which foot do I put it on?
Yo, if my neighbors see me digging a hole in my backyard, I'm fucking putting clay on and I'm diving in, man. They're calling somebody. They're calling help.
And you're like this, Mike. You need help to like pull up and bury you, and they're like, "Come here." And they're like, "I'm not going anywhere."
They're gonna be yelling at the window. You okay?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm just burying myself in the ground with a bunch of clay on my face. Don't worry about it.
But have you ever been buried in the sand?
That's awesome.
Same.
How good does
same
that
thing.
shit feel?
It does feel awesome.
So good.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And sand, you know what sand is? Sand is quartz, crystal.
Mhm.
It's very fine quartz crystal. That's why it's part of like, crystals are known to have energy to them and, able to help people heal and things of that nature. So you bury yourself in the sand, you're pretty much burying yourself in crystal.
It's fucking awesome.
But then you get you get that sandy crevice. You ever had a sandy crevice?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out
That's
to the
why-
girls back in the day. I know who you are. I'm talking about sandy crevices.
You could keep your boxes on, trainer.
Nah, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna strap on some Fruit of the Looms. Like I'm going in there. Like
Yeah.
shit's getting dirty.
Imagine
That's next. That's what I'm gonna do. Grape fucking thing. Grape fast, watermelon fast. I'm diving in the fucking dirt.
bury
Bang.
yourself. Imagine how good it would feel to bury yourself in the sand at night during a full moon when the quartz is being recharged.
With a
Good
little
idea,
drizzle.
man.
With a little drizzle going on, a little rain.
A little drizzle on you and some fucking Arabian princess feeding you your grapes. Oh,
Can we just make this a business? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, all right, we got a hole right here. Come on in. Fucking pat motherfuckers down with clay. charge them like $800 for a session. Be one with the dirt, my friend.
That'd
Get
be
in
good.
there. We should all do that one day. One weekend, we'll go upstate, Nick. We'll go fuck your place. We'll all dig holes. Fucking just spend the night in there.
Spend the night in the hole.
The fuck?
Eating
And then we'll
grapes.
record it, you know? Put it on video.
Who's gonna be the last guy though that gets buried? Because we're gonna have to just like rent somebody. Be like, hey man, listen, we just need you to bury us. All right, you good with
Yeah.
that? $50 a person. But we also need you to unbury us in an hour.
There's no way.
And the money's in my pocket. And you're butt naked, and he knows you're lying. The money's left on the money's on the table.
There's no way that's happening. There's no way some lunatic would go there and be like, oh, yeah, I'll bury all you guys and throw clay on you. And yeah, call me an hour. No, it's not happening. That'd be a great business if we started, though.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I think that might be it with the Mix It Up podcast because we got to leave on a great note. You know, don't go on vacation. Don't go to the fucking Cayman Islands. Just fucking go in your backyard, dig a hole, hop right in, spend a couple of days in there, fucking have a fast. But in the meantime, you know, listen to this podcast, man. Take your headphones out there to the fucking hole you dug yourself in the ground and listen to this podcast and smash that like button, like and subscribe. But Nick, where can they find us?
You can find us at the Mix It Up Pod on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. This is going to be the episode that we go viral, by the way. So you'll all be hearing about us. And stay tuned to get a glimpse of Eugene's reading on my eyeball.
On the afterpod. Is coming. But a quick shout out to the people listening to the podcast. We now expanded to France. I think I mentioned France before, but Italy, United
nice.
Kingdom, Australia, of course. So and of course, United States of America. So we're definitely all over the place. So appreciate you listening, whoever you guys are, but thank you. And stay tuned for the afterpod. Peace. Hey everyone, if you liked that episode of the Mix It Up Pod, guess what? We got more pod coming. The debut of the Afterpod will be coming out after each episode every week. So that's just more of us talking. So like, subscribe, and smash that button.